Hi everyone, this is Jan Romano. We're going to talk about if functions and VLOOKUP functions today in Excel. We have a little webinar that we did on VLOOKUPs, and now we're doing the if functions, and you can look at them separately. I'm going to bring up the same file that I used for VLOOKUPs though, and it is the file that has the Benjamin of Brussels. I have the commission answers here so that you can see what we're about to do. We are about to take these cells right here and do an if function in them. And really what an if function is it allows you to say to Excel if a particular cell meets a certain criteria. And in this case, I want you to notice over here on the right hand side, the quota is 50,000. So they need to meet the quota of 50,000 in order to get a commission. And later I can change that, of course. Right now, the 18% is the commission rate, and they'll get an 18% commission rate. And we could do that on the total, or we could do that on the amount that they sold after the 50,000. These two cells I've already made absolute, so I've given them names. So when I click on the 18%, if you look in the name box up here on the left-hand side, it says commission rate. 50,000 is quota, so I've already named them to make them absolute. So when I copy my formula, each one of these cells right here will absolutely be looking at the 18% and the 50%. That needs to be done, of course, before you start your formula. All right, I'm going to click in cell F6, and this is Hanover. Hanover is a salesperson. They're selling, they are distributing and selling chocolates, and so he sold or she sold $71,000 worth of sales for April, May, and June. So now we're going to find out what commission they are going to get. So what we're going to do is come on up here to the Formulas tab. We're going to go to the Logical button. We're going to click on If. And now once I do that, I move this dialog box to where I want it to be. I like to put it right underneath the row that I'm going to be looking at. Now notice you can see Logical Test. Logical Test means it's the condition basically that needs to be met for Excel to be able to look at the data and see if it's true or see if it's false. So I'm going to put right here, this cell right here, 71,000, which is E6. I'm going to type a greater than or equal to, so if they sell greater than or equal to, and I'm going to click on this 50,000 here in cell J4, which I named, of course, quota. And that's why it shows up right here in this little window for my if function. So now I'm going to go to the true. So if it's true, so if E6 is greater than or equal to the quota, I'm going to give them 18%. And I'm just going to make it easy. I'm going to give them 18% on the total sales. So I'm going to click on the 18%, which comes up as commission rate because I already named it. I'm going to multiply it by the 71,000. So that's what they get if they meet the quota. If they don't meet the quota, I need to put in a false. So I can put in words, I can put in just a number, I can actually do some multiplication here and say that they get only 2% instead, or I can type in just a 0, which I'm going to do right now. I'm going to click OK. And so Hanover met the quota. 71,000 is greater than or equal to, of course, 50,000. So I'm going to copy this down, and notice the only person who did not meet the quota is Simmons, and they get a dash, which represents a 0. So that's how it's done. Now, can I change the commission rate? Of course. So I'm going to go over here and change the commission rate, and I will reduce it to 15 and hit enter, and all of these numbers change. Can I change the quota? Sure. I will change it to 60,000 and then enter that in. And then now notice only 2 people meet the quota. So that is an if function, and that's a simple if function. It's not a nested if function. You can nest if functions together. 64 of them inside each other, 64 ifs, 64 conditions, and 64 trues, and only have 1 false. So that's why we went ahead and we created this VLOOKUP. And so take a look at the little webinar about VLOOKUPs. I did that as well, and so you can check that out. But hopefully this was helpful. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hit this FX button one more time just so you can see what we did. So we took and we told Excel using the if function that if E6 is greater than or equal to the quota, which is 60,000 now, take the commission rate and multiply it by the total, and if they don't meet the quota, give them nothing. So I clicked OK, and of course I copied that down with the fill handle. All right, well, I hope that was good. I'm going to close this and save this, come back here, and notice again, if functions and VLOOKUPs in Excel are great tools to use, and I hope that you learned something today and you're able to use those tools in your work with Excel.